Imagine you're in a busy market, going about your business, when all of a sudden, boom. You're choking on smoke, dirt, and maybe fragments of glass too. That's kind of what has been happening in Somalia, Mozambique, Mali, and dear old Nigeria. What's more, they are not the only African countries feeling the catastrophic heat of Islamic terrorism. This is Jasi DYK. If the context is terrorism, Africa is winning. According to the 2022 Global Terrorism Index, African countries make up 11 out of the top 20 countries heavily impacted by terrorism. And most of this is unfortunately courtesy of jihadists. Even though Africa is full of moderate Muslims, a handful of radical groups have openly declared war on any and everything that is not Islam inspired.
Terror struck in the heart of the Somali capital. Two cars loaded with explosives tore through a busy intersection near several government offices.
Now, put a finger down if you've heard of any of these groups. Al-Qaeda in Islamic Maghreb, Boko Haram, Al-Shabaab, Al-Sunnah wal Jama'ah, Ansar la Islam, an extra finger for them. If you have at least 5 fingers down, you seriously need to take a break from negative news. What do all these groups want? Simple. Ummah. Ummah is a sort of religious utopia where Muslims are united in culture and politics. You may say, well, that sounds great. Let them do it and leave us alone. Not quite. Believe it or not, what has triggered these groups to start radically pushing this ideal is not Islam in itself. Rather, according to these scholars, things like radical westernization and its erosion of local values, oppressive political systems, high youth unemployment and youth bulge. In their perfect world, young people would be provided for. Corruption, which leads to poverty, and considering how much money and humanitarian aid flow in terrorist networks, it's easy to see why disillusioned youth join these groups and make it their life's purpose to bring, by fire or by force, a more just world under the mantle of Islam. Here's a rundown of terrorist groups and who they've been addressing. First, Al-Shabaab. Since 2006, Al-Shabaab has been the resident terrorist of Somalia. Last month, they set off 2 bombs in Mogadishu, Somalia's capital, as revenge for the government clamping down on them. Over 400 people were affected, 100 of whom actually died. But when they are not bombing Somalis, Al-Shabaab endeavors to terrorize Ethiopia, like they've been doing since their first official invasion in July 2022. But they also managed to find time for Kenya. While Al-Shabaab handles the east, AGIM, Al-Qaeda, which is Al-Qaeda in Islamic Maghreb, is busy with the north. They set up shop in Algeria due to an incident in 1991 when, thanks to those meddling kids in the West, an election Islamists were supposed to win got cancelled. AGIM also operates in Mali, Niger, Tunisia, Libya, and Mauritania. Their plan is to overthrow government and establish a new order based on Sharia. But in West Africa, the loudest terrorists are definitely Nigeria's own Boko Haram. Settled in northeast Nigeria, Boko Haram has been in a tug of war to abolish westernization since 2002. They also terrorize parts of Cameroon, and even though the Nigerian government says it's winning, international speculation claims otherwise. Boko Haram in hand in West Africa is Ansar al-Islam, a group terrorizing Burkina Faso who have also extended their reach to Togo and upwards to Niger and Mali, so they don't feel left. Al-Sunnah wal Jama'ah, a different Al-Shabaab, and Islamic State have been going off in Mozambique, especially in Capo Delgado region. 3 against 1. Now, wow. Tanzania also gets attacked by Islamic State and Al-Shabaab seeking to expand into their region. All this chaos makes you wonder what the African Union is really doing about this. Well, we hope the entire world can join hands to fight terrorism in Africa because Al-Qaeda can and does export terrorists from East Africa. If the classified documents from Osama bin Laden's compound are any proof, I think this is an everybody issue. You didn't know about them documents, did you? We didn't know either until we read this article. So, terrorism in Africa, everybody's problem. Well, I guess Putin can always decide to nuke everybody if things get too troublesome. But anyhow, no matter what happens, at least we have nice jollof rice and you still have Jasi TV. Don't forget to follow us for more African stories with a twist.